Ladies and gentlemen, I know I might get in some trouble with this story, but y'all know when I have something on my heart, I have to speak on it. So before we even get to that point, let me give you a full disclaimer before we even get there, because I don't want people flagging my channel and making my life miserable. But here we go. Some people watching this video might find my content controversial or offensive. The information is coming from many different sources. You can look it up yourself. It comes from the courts, comes from police, news websites. My commentary is also going to have my personal opinion about the facts of this story, but I'm using these stories as a cautionary tale so that we can stop this from happening to our babies. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. Don't act like you didn't know. All right? I want to show you guys a picture. As y'all know, I love children in general. I think if I could make 100 more me's, children that need fathers and what do they call them? Mentors. I'd be spreading myself thin trying to help as many children as I possibly could, because I hate the trend that we're going in right now. And I want y'all to look at this beautiful angel on my screen, this baby boy right here. I could not imagine, to save my life, what this baby could have done wrong to deserve what he got. He looks like a happy, young, healthy child. How did this baby lose his life? Michigan, as a state, y'all are going to have to take the L. Hold this L, please. A Michigan woman faces even more legal jeopardy after the toddler she allegedly abused died of his injuries. So this baby's body fought as hard as it possibly could, and he ended up succumbing to his injuries from mom's babysitter. But I'm getting this information from lawandcrime.com. We get a lot of articles from them. So shout out to lawandcrime.com. And they also have a YouTube channel. You can check their channel out as well. Kimora Lanme Hodges. Kimora, Kimora Hodges. You could just look that up. Simply find it like that. 21 years old, is now charged. Let me go ahead and get this individual up on my screen. This woman right here with that pile of confetti on the top of her head that looks like she took it from some child's birthday party and just decided to just glue it to the top of her fucking head. Let me back this up like a U-Haul truck. One good time. Want y'all to look at this and tell me that don't look like some little party streamers, those little things that you make and you hang them from the ceiling. And she said, oh, that would look cute on my head. I think I might be able to get some more men to like me if I glue this crap on the top of my head, right? I'll be looking good, girl. I'm going to go get my hair done, my nails done, y'all. I'm going to be the shiznit. 21 years dumb. She is now charged with felony murder according to WDIV. She was arraigned Thursday, and she is getting no bond. Zero bond, and I'm going to tell you, I love it when I hear it. No bond. The suspect was previously charged with child abuse in the first degree, but y'all got to remember the child was on life support at the time, so they was hoping and praying that he would have survived, and I really wish I could have presented that story, that he survived. The child's mother, by the name of Taylor Starks, which, let me see, I don't know if I have a picture of the mother in here or not, the biological mother, but you'll see her in one of these interviews. Let me see if I can find her. I might not have it, but I do have her text messages. We'll get to her text messages here in just a second. The child's mother, Taylor Starks, has been identified him as 23-month-old Kyrie. After initially surviving his injuries, the boy did not survive, officers announced. He's only one, and he knows how to count to 5, Stark said before her son's death, according to WJBK. It's been a week, but it feels like it's forever. She described the victim as sustaining serious head trauma. So this baby was beat up from what it sounds like. He had blunt force trauma to the head. He was beat up. He was bleeding out of his ears and had to have immediate brain surgery. All I know is she threw my son into the wall and shook him up pretty bad. And they said that's just a bit of what she did to him. Kyrie would have been two years old next month, according to WJBK. Hodges, the babysitter, the alleged babysitter, I don't know if you can call it that. I think she was just a chick that probably wanted to make some money off of this woman and decided to keep her kid. But she was allegedly taking care of Kyrie the night of June 13th at Stark's home. The suspect contacted Starks the following early morning about the way that he was sleeping, officers said. I'll show you those text messages here in a moment. Starks arrived in minutes and called 911. He had blunt force trauma to the head and he was bleeding out of his ears and had to have immediate brain surgery, according to Roseville Police Chief Ryan Monroe. Starks had described Hodges as a longtime friend and babysitter. What kind of friend is that? That you would beat the absolute dog shit out of your bestie's kid. That word friend is thrown around so lightly. Like, really, what is a friend? How well did you know her? Did you do a background check on her? What did you really know about this chick? What kind of friend is that? She was watching him the past 2 months while mom was at work. She said Hodges told her about her son eating soap and developing allergic reactions. Stark says she rushed home to find Kyrie suffering from multiple seizures. Think about this. They always blame it on the kid. So here's what happened. The babysitter is saying that this child had blunt force trauma to the head and was bleeding out of his ears because he ate a bar of soap. Come on, people. This individual that y'all see on my screen who literally has soulless eyes, she has no soul, blamed it on the child and said he was bleeding out of his ears and had clear blunt force trauma to his head and said that he got that by eating soap. What kind of soap did he eat? Soap that had pieces of dynamite in it? You lit it and he put it in his mouth and it exploded in his mouth? Like, you just can't be that level of dumb. Like, where did they come up with these stories? I think that these ignorant broads, they Google search the wildest, most unbelievable stories. You know what? Let me see. Look through my smartphone. Keep looking. Oh, that right there. That looks like the dumbest lie I've ever heard. The child's bleeding from his ears because I beat the shit out of him, but you might be able to get your best friend to believe that he got this by eating a bar of soap. Gee, that might work. That might actually be believable. This baby had multiple seizures. The mom said, once I made it there, my baby was on the ground having a seizure after seizure after seizure. Starks also said that she initially believed the story about the soap because she's going off of what this broad told her. That changed after she learned the full extent of his injuries. She said her son had no brain activity at the hospital. The mom says, I'm only 18 years old. I don't have a mom or a dad. It's just me and my baby. I'm hurt. I'm so hurt that she did this to me. I would have never have done this to her and her baby. 2 years old. She was having sex at 16, at least. It sounds like she was having consensual sex at age 16 to have a child that's almost 2 years old. Why, when you have a choice in America to choose to have children or not, you could also use abstinence, so don't throw that Roe versus Wade crap at me. Abstinence is also a choice. Even though some people believe that they absolutely have to spread their legs, and some men out there absolutely believe they have to pull out their wieners and stick it in something wet to get their rocks off, it's still a choice. You don't have to do it. Unless it's rape. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say that word. Unless it's sexual assault that is forced upon you, quote unquote. Unless it's that, then I think the law still has provisions where if you are taken advantage of sexually, you could actually probably still abort that child. But I don't know that for a fact. But unless that's the case, which most times it's not, there's usually a very small number. of people who are having children who have children against their will. Very small number. The majority of people are having children on their own volition. Why are you having kids at 18? That's fucking stupid. If you have a mother who had you at 18, then I'm going to tell you, or even had a mother that had you at 16. It's not a smart way to go. We can't continue to keep having these people doing stupid things in our society, and we don't call it out and tell them it's probably not the right thing to do. It's not the right time. This is why you shouldn't be doing this. You should have children when you have a foundation built and ready for them. If you can't take care of yourself and have a stable roof over your own head and have a family, a husband, a supporter who's there and willing and ready to take care of this kid, shouldn't be having kids. Mother or no mother, no father, doesn't matter. It's still a choice that you made. But here's the crazy part. Here is the crazy part of this. Because I'm sure people's heartstrings got plucked when they heard this story. And trust me, I understand, y'all. I really do. But let me show you something about this GoFundMe. As you can see from the bottom, the biological mother put this GoFundMe up. So this was not done by somebody else. This was done by the biological mother. She put up this GoFundMe less than 3 days ago, and she asked for $17,500. Like the famous philosopher Kanye West said, how, Sway? How? For what? Wait. I know y'all see the 71,000 up there. That's what they donated. You always have the option that people can go over the campaign asking amount. Here's my question. What'd you need $17,000 for? Can somebody in the chat type this very famous phrase in that the AFC came up with? We created #babies for benefits. Can somebody type that in there? And I'll explain what I mean for those who might not understand. I believe that in this world, we are having too many children simply to collect benefits off of these children, off of these babies. We're collecting benefits, whether that be Section 8, food stamps, to keep a man, to get child support, but we're looking to benefit off of the children. Too many people are having these children to get something from the children, as opposed to giving something to them, which is usually what parents do when they're prepared properly to have children. Right? Right. Too many of us are familiar with the story of our parents are just out there fucking and had us, and they did the best that they could, y'all. And that's good enough? No, it's not. It's not. That's never good enough. That's unacceptable. $17,000, in my humble opinion, ma'am, mother, I know you're going to see this because that's what these young people do. She's 18 years old. She's going to watch my video because she's going to be typing in her algorithm and she's going to be wanting to know what the world had to say about her having this kid at such a young age and her kid dying. I can almost guarantee you she's going to see this and she's going to feel some type of way because she's emotional. $17,000. How much does it cost to bury a child, especially when in most states, the state will cover the burial of a child when it's considered a crime? Fact or fiction? This was a crime that somebody is being charged with and somebody is probably going to do life in prison for. Those crimes are usually covered pertaining to the burial. Not only is $17,500 a bit high simply to cover burial expenses, but we know that that money is actually going to take care of her, right? But not only that, but everybody saw this story and they can donate whatever they want to. But they donated her $750,000. $71,759 and climbing. $71,000. They are about to reach $100,000. Here's my common sense, logical question. Somebody in the chat, please tell me if I'm wrong for looking at it like this. She's 18 goddamn years old. She started having sex in order to create this kid at 16 years old. Gave birth. She's 18 years old. Her kid died before his second birthday. Now she has no kids and no family. Somebody please tell old stupid J, DJ Just J, if he were a box of crayons, he'd probably be a navy blue because he ain't the brightest one in the box. Tell me what an 18-year-old would do with $100,000 in their pocket. Do you think she's going to be productive with $100,000 when she's coming from never having shit? No training, no education, no responsibility. A person with a mindset like that, what are they going to do with $100,000 uninhibited? Make an investment? Go to school? Buy property? No. I can almost guarantee you by the time she gets that money, we're going to revisit this. I'd say, let's just say if she gets the money this year, by the time we revisit this in a year from now, all of it will be gone. Every bit of that $100,000 will be gone. Mark my words. But let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. I just trying to give y'all something to think about. I'm not trying to get on to the mother's case because she is a victim, but I believe that she also made a bad choice by not investing in a babysitter. You made zero investment in your child financially to show your child that you loved him. You just sent him with whoever will watch him, which is not responsible. No financial investment. But now you want strangers in the world to turn around and fund your $17,500 GoFundMe, which they did, and gave you damn near $75,000 in 3 days. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I want y'all to mark my words. In 12 months, she'll be pregnant again, and she'll be broke. Can y'all type that in my chat and say that these are DJ's words, my words? She'll be pregnant and she'll be broke in 12 months. She's not learning a damn thing from this. But if you guys would, do me a favor. I know some of y'all are not going to like this video. Click the thumbs up, but be honest with me and let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Here we go. Let's get it.
Say hi.
I live with the man.
What? He's my best friend. He just have a type of energy where you come around him, you automatically feels better.
On Tuesday, Taylor Starks told us about the brutal beating of her 1-year-old son, Kyrie, at the hands of a trusted friend and babysitter.
She threw my son into the wall and shook him up pretty bad, but they said that's just a bit of what she did to him.
He's been in the hospital with no brain activity since June 13th, and Wednesday morning, Kyrie died a month shy of his second birthday. His mom, Taylor, posting this on social media, saying she's crushed.
I'm only 18. I don't have a mom. I don't have a dad. I don't have any family. It's just me and my baby. That's my only blood relative I have.
Earlier this month, babysitter Kimora Hodges tried to tell Taylor her son was having an allergic reaction and she needed to come pick him up from this Roseville apartment complex. When she got there, Kyrie was having seizures, and soon Taylor learned this was not an allergic reaction at all.
He had blood force trauma to the head and he was bleeding out his ears, where he had to have immediate brain surgery.
The babysitter has been arrested and arraigned for first-degree child abuse. Obviously, those charges could change if the child ends up passing away.
Roseville police now working with the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office on more charges against Hodges, who admitted to what she did.
Very cooperative, very regretful, remorseful for her actions, but it doesn't, I mean, obviously that doesn't take any of it back.
Hodges does have priors for domestic violence and is being held on a very high $250,000 bond.
Stop sign right there. Let's back that up like a U-Haul truck. Let's hear that again.
Any of it back.
Hodges does have priors for domestic violence and is being held on a very high $250,000 bond. No 10%. She did.
Very cooperative, very regretful, remorseful for her actions, but it doesn't, I mean, obviously that doesn't take any of it back.
Hodges does have priors for domestic violence and is being held on a...
She has priors for domestic violence. She's a violent bitch. She's violent. You consider her a friend. What would have been a method that you could have found out that she had violent domestic violence on her record? What would have been a method? Something that DJ Just Jay talks about all the time. What is that method called? Background checks? Did you expect for your friend to tell you that she will be a danger to your child, that she might violently react to your child? Matter of fact, let me ask you guys this. If you guys did a background check on a daycare, before you take your kids there, and you find out that this daycare has a history of beating the shit out of kids on their record, would you still take your children to that daycare? A rational, logical parent and a parent that cares about their children would absolutely avoid taking their children to that daycare if you knew that was on their record. So one would have to ask, why aren't people making the small investment in who they're putting their children around and do a background check? You're already cutting corners anyway. I can almost guarantee you she let this woman watch her kid while she went to work because she felt like she was trying to save money, but wouldn't even make a small investment to find out if this woman maybe has some pedo tendencies on her record. How do you know? It's a grown-ass woman with a little boy. You wouldn't want to find that out? You wouldn't want to find out if that's on her record? Is she on probation? No, she had domestic violence on her record. And if you ask the biological mother, she's going to tell you, oh, I had no idea. It's because you didn't care enough to look. You didn't care about your son enough to check. And most people don't. That's the problem. This ain't an 18-year-old girl problem. She's young. She's didn't know no better, y'all. This is a problem, an indictment on parents in general. We are not doing enough by our children to not put them in harm's way. To at least do the basics and find out who you're putting your children around. She already had this on her record. You would have found out from a background check, but nobody tends to think they need a background check, right? I'm the one that's wrong. I need to stop suggesting it. Well, fine.
But it doesn't, I mean, obviously that doesn't take any of it back.
Hodges does have priors for domestic violence and is being held on a very high $250,000 bond. No 10%.
I'm so hurt that she did this to me. And I would have never done this to her and her baby. I would have never hurt her.
I got one more thing to say. One more thing to say. She literally just said that she wouldn't have done this to her child. But you put your child with a woman that is not her DNA tie. She don't give a damn about your kid. She didn't give a damn about you. So just because you wouldn't do something doesn't mean that somebody else wouldn't. Isn't that the way it works? I believe that most people aren't pedos. But that don't mean that you go put your kid around somebody else. Like, I would never be a pedo to your kid. But that's not going to make you sleep any better at night knowing that that person might not return that same favor to you. And I want y'all to also think about this. This is the point that I was wanting to make. I had to kind of circle back around to it because my memory is really bad. Here's what I was going to say. If this woman had to have this woman watch her baby at a cheap rate so that the mom could go to work, what do y'all think that her friend did for a living if she's able to watch this woman's kids? Don't worry, I'll wait. Shout out to the famous Cat Williams. Let me say that again. If this mom has a kid and the other woman has a kid, that means shouldn't technically y'all both need the same thing? Y'all both need babysitters? No, you go take your kid and dump it off on a woman that probably needs a babysitter herself, unless she probably wasn't working, unless she was probably collecting food stamps and Section 8 and child support and sitting on her ass and getting that confetti crap glued into the top of her head. Being irresponsible and her being infallible because nobody ever holds her responsible. Nobody can ever tell the queen that she's wrong about nothing, y'all. Right? Isn't that about right? What does she do for a living if she can watch somebody else's kids at a discounted rate? Thought I'd throw that out there.
My baby is such an active baby. Like, he's only one and he know how to count to 5. Say hi.
This 1-year-old beautiful little boy named Kyrie, now brain dead.
Only been a week and it feels like forever.
Beaten so badly, allegedly, by a trusted babysitter and friend to Kyrie's mom, Taylor Starks.
All I know is that she threw my son into the wall and shook him up pretty bad, but they said that's just a bit of what she did to him.
I want y'all to think about this. Some people actually suggesting that maybe they work different work shifts. That's a logical response. That's a logical thought process. But let me tell you why that doesn't work. Why is it that it only goes one way? And do you think that would be wise that somebody else is always doing you a favor, but you don't do them a favor? So if you work opposite shifts, then what should you do if you're actually a good friend? Watch her kid at a discounted rate, which means neither one of y'all would be making money. See how that works? A little bit of logic will destroy BS every single time. It would offset. Then neither one of y'all would need daycare. Right? Or am I wrong? Am I looking at this wrong? If mom goes to work, drops her kid off with a friend who is not at her work shift yet, then when mom gets off, then that means that the other one would have to go to work, which means she would need somebody to watch her kid. But you didn't hear this mother say that she watched this other woman's kid. She said, I wouldn't have done that to her kid. She didn't say, I've never done that to her kid. That sounds like she's never actually babysit that other woman's kid. A little bit of logic goes a long way.
Got a text message from babysitter Kimora Hodges on June 13th saying that Kyrie had eaten a bar of soap and was having an allergic reaction. So she rushed home from work to her apartment in Roseville.
And once I made it there, my baby was on the ground having seizure after seizure after seizure.
Taylor trusted the babysitter's allergy story, but doctors at Ascension St. John Hospital would soon deliver the worst news.
He had blood force trauma to the head and he was bleeding out his ears, where he had to have immediate brain surgery.
A week later, Kyrie.
Somebody said she could have been working from home. I can almost guarantee you, not all, but these type of women, these young, dumb, full of calm ass women, the only type of working from home she probably did was probably OnlyFans. I can almost guarantee you that.
His condition is not improved. Tests continue showing no brain activity.
I'm only 18. I don't have a mom. I don't have a dad. I don't have any family. It's just me and my baby.
Hodges is charged with first-degree.
You could just look at her and just tell she just looks like she does nothing productive at all. Work from home, my ass. Literally.
Child abuse held on a high bond of $250,000, no 10%.
Very cooperative, very regretful, remorseful for her actions, but it doesn't, I mean, obviously that doesn't take any of it back.
If Kyrie passes, Hodges will face more charges.
And the baby already passed, so she is facing murder charges now, just to let y'all know. Throw that out there. Somebody in the chat said her OnlyFans is her only plans. I like that. I'm going to have to steal that from you. But you could actually look at these text messages. I guess we can run through them really, really quickly. So I'll put these up here so you guys can take a look. Let me see. Babysitter. Let me get these up here real quick. You might not be able to see them really well, but I don't know. We'll do the best that we can. Actually, that's not the one. Let me pull up a different one. Because she actually has evidence that she texts her that her son ate soap. Which one is it? Let me see if I can find it. Right here. I'm gonna try to make this as big as I possibly can. So I guess she was sending her these messages on Instagram. Just can't beat this level of dumb. So check it out. She said, Taylor, I'm sorry, but this might be my last time watching Kyrie. I put them down for a nap because they both was crying when we came from outside, and I also went to sleep, but I wake up just now and he in the bathroom eating a bar of effing Dial soap. She's claiming that she woke up from a nap. She walked into the bathroom as he was eating a bar of soap. And he refused to spit it out. And he was just chewing on it. Not listening, man. But this is what I was saying, though. No matter what, when I go to sleep, he feel the need to be sneaky, but he can literally do whatever he want here. IDK, I don't know what's going on, but I can't keep up with this behavior because normally children listen to me, and I don't want to be responsible when he do shit while I'm asleep, because now it's like I can't even take a nap while he here because he getting into more shit now. Let me tell y'all this. This is not something that I normally say, but I'll say it tonight. As much as you can look at these as two young women that made bad choices and one worse than the other, especially this one, I don't think that a person like this can be rehabilitated. I think that this person is screwed in the head. And I don't really see any reason why this person should exist on planet Earth anymore. At minimum, she should get a life sentence, but I wouldn't even be mad if the state decided to give her the ultimate penalty under law, because I think that is heinous and that is callous for you to sit there and beat the dog shit out of this child for absolutely no reason at all. No justifiable reason. Murdered him. And then blame his death on him, on the child. Blame the death on the child and say he did it to himself. I didn't do it. He did it to himself. I think that if we take a precedence and start setting the bar really, really high and charging these criminals to the furthest extent of the law when they do this to children that cannot speak for themselves nor defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers, as I've said so many times, I think that you need to really put your foot down and charge these people to the fullest extent of the law. And I want people to be afraid. I want people to fear doing anything to kids. I want them to be crying. I want them to soil their grown people diapers when they understand what consequences are probably going to come when you hurt, murder, and abuse our children. They should absolutely fear being put to death, in my humble opinion. The fear of God should be in their souls. That woman absolutely deserves a life sentence, in my humble opinion. To the biological mother of Kyrie, Ma'am, I know you're listening, and I'm going to say this. First and foremost, you have a beautiful son, had a beautiful son. I have no doubt that he probably would have grown up and become something great if he just would have had a little bit of better care when it came to the babysitter thing. This absolutely has to be a learning lesson, especially because you're so young and you're more than likely going to produce more children. And these people are getting ready to hand you over an inordinate amount of money, close to $100,000. And all I could do is hope and pray that you don't blow it, because most humans, it's not a young thing. This is not a black thing. It's not a mother thing. It's a human thing that when people who have been broke are given an inordinate amount of money, most people are going to be irresponsible with it. And all I can do is pray that you don't do that. Get a financial advisor, get some counseling, get some help, and get some training and get some teaching, and do not produce any more children until you have a solid foundation under your own feet. And I think it's best to have a husband before you have kids. Have a man commit to you legally to the state, in front of God and in front of his family and friends. If you claim that you don't have family and friends, have him fully commit, have a ring on your finger, then commit to a child. And if a man walks out on that, I just think you stand a better chance of him not doing that. That's really all I can suggest, and just pray for you. And our condolences go out to you. I'm speaking from a father's perspective. I have a daughter that's almost her age, believe it or not. My daughter is almost close to this mother's age. So I'm speaking from a father's standpoint. And I really, really hope that she listens with an open mind as well as an open heart. But thank y'all for listening to the story. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you.